Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and this is my review of the 5e Hardcore Mode book that was created by Runehammer Games, and it is a fantastic problem. I'm not going to bury the lead here. 5 out of 5 stars. This costs $3.50 on DriveThruRPG. You should purchase it today. It is a 21-page product that is essentially a product that allows you to drop it on 5e and then play 5e in a new way, and it allows you to play 5e faster and in a way that is much faster and is much more simple. It is a brilliant product. This product really very much reminds me of Apple design. Less is more. This is a bare bones product. It's slimmed down to the absolute bare minimum. That's not quite true. There's some material in here that talks about Grimdark. It talks about running Grimdark games in 5e. You could strip that out. You don't need it. You don't need this at all to run Grimdark, and that is a little unnecessary. In fact, all the GM material on how to create great stories and that kind of thing is really unnecessary. What's really of value, and there's a lot of value within this product, far more value than its price, is the very specific concepts on how to run your game. So one, it gets rid of, it strips out a ton. It's saying, hey, use your book that tells you about monsters. Use your book that tells you about players. Use your book that tells you how to run the game, how to master the game, and use all those rules, but take these specific rules and chuck them, right? So one of the things it does is like, okay, this type of heritage runs at 25 feet per turn, and this type of heritage runs at 30 feet per turn, and you can get rid of all of that because it's useless nonsense. The whole game works in zones, right? And so this game uses zones as 30 feet blocks, right? So, and then you could still use move and double move. So a lot of the granularity of the game is preserved. Also, it also talks about the game in concepts of here and there, okay? Where I'm here and I'm going to deal with this issue right here in this zone, and there's another, there's a zone over there that I need to get to deal with that, right? And so you might hop from zone to zone to zone. And the way they list these encounters is they'll list out items that can be used in the encounter that are of strategic and tactical importance. So that's important. The other thing is just ways for rolling your character, right? So the way you roll your character in this game is you roll 4d6, drop the lowest, in sequence, and you keep those numbers exactly where they are. Oh, that's rough. That is rough. And then they actually tell you about, hey, what if you roll a 6 and you're gonna have to actually, role play somebody with a 6 intelligence or a 6 strength. And they're saying, hey, this is your time to cajone up, and now you actually have the ability to do that. It's going to stretch you as a player. Brilliant. I absolutely love it. So basically, the hardcore mode in this it's saying, hey, this product is for people who want a game that runs simple and fast, right? And simple and fast, and also another very important part of the game is it's like characters die. There's absolutely no dice fudging in hardcore mode, and there's absolutely no protection from a game master of a player. Of a player character from death. If a player character dies, they die. It's hardcore mode. Like, they take that very serious in this game. Like, that is a very real thing, right? And so the game presents that. So there's a ton of really awesome material in this. And this, if you take this and you apply this to 5e becomes infinitely more playable. Now, when I looked at this, I'm familiar with all Runehammer game products. I literally own every single Runehammer game product that has ever been made. Period. Done. End of sentence. It's the only tabletop role-playing game company I've ever done that for, but I've reached a point in my career where I'm actually able to purchase what I want. And the other thing is, the nice thing about Runehammer Games is their material is so reasonably priced. They don't have $100 books, which is great. Their stuff is incredibly accessible. Runehammer Games is killing it. They're just doing such a great job. And I like. Here's a great point. I actually support Runehammer Games through Patreon. I already had the quick start for the Cyberpunk game, and the Cyberpunk product came out. Their new altered, it's called Altered State product came out for it was $8.50 on DriveThruRPG. I already owned a copy that was well over half the material of this, and I'm not going to run this anytime within the next year or two, right? But I bought that day one just to support the company. I really love what Runehammer Games is doing. This 5e hardcore is absolutely fantastic. Now let's talk about, so if you're paying attention, what 5e hardcore is a significant part. I would say about 50% of this is, hey, why don't you just call your 5e game an index card? Why don't you just make your 5e game an index card RPG game, and then it's still a 5e game? And you're like, well, what's the point of that? Why don't you just go play index card RPG? There's a really good reason why you need the 5e hardcore mode. Why the 5e hardcore mode product is a much better idea. You will have a lot more success saying, hey, I'm going to run a 5e game, 5e hardcore mode. Because people are like, oh, 5e, that's awesome. That's that super big game that everybody in the world knows about, right? And you're like, come to my 5e game. And they're like, I'm there with bells on, right? And they're like, I don't know what the word hardcore mode means, but I know what 5e means. Let's do it. I'll see ya. I'm running the Paladin. But if you say, hey, you want to play index card RPGs, and they're like, what is that? And then you bring them and you start playing index card, and they're like, where are the index cards? Why do you have a traditional size character sheet? And you just sigh, and you're like, oh boy. Index card RPG is amazing, but it's non-intuitive, and it's hard to drag people to. Whereas 5e, everybody knows it. So that's the value of the 5e hardcore product. The other thing is, this is very real. There's a nice FLGS near my shop, near my house, and I would like to run games in their shop, right? Index card RPG is a huge problem. They don't have that book on their shelves. So when I come in and I start running a game at their table, they're like, why are you running a game at my table and I don't sell those books, right? That's problematic, right? Whereas if I sit down and I start running a 5e hardcore mode, everybody knows they can go pick up the 5e book over on the shelf, and the store owner's like, ooh, I see 5e books on the table. That means I could be selling more 5e books. It solves a lot of problems. It is very, very significant. This is a really fantastic product from the Runehammer Games people. The art is not their best art for a product. In fact, the writing on this and the design from what you're getting in the product, from actually how useful it's going to be, I actually think this is one of the best Runehammer products ever made, from a writing perspective and from a usefulness, especially from a usefulness perspective and from a dollar value perspective. This thing is worth 10 times. If I had paid $35, more than $1 per page for this product, I'd be thrilled with it, right? But I paid $3.50, and it shocked me how good it was. So it's a very, very, very good book. But just so you're aware, do be aware, the art is not traditional Runehammer game art. It is different than that, and it's not bad. And the layout is superb. The layout is absolutely superb, and the color palette is superb, but the art itself is a step down from the normal Runehammer game level of awesomeness, and mostly because it looks like, to me, like their normal Brandish Gilhelm artist that's on most Runehammer games was not on this product. But that's okay. It's totally worth it. This is an absolute buy today. Go to Runehammer Games, get this, apply it to your 5e game immediately. This is an absolutely fantastic product. 5 out of 5 stars. All that is my opinion. I'd love to hear your opinion on this product. Have you played 5e hardcore mode? Have you played any of the Runehammer games? I'd love to hear your take on these products. Let me know in the comments below. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.